I feel you're my perfect match. And
same with me.
And I definitely didn't know it was possible to find someone who is so right for me.
We should talk about like the timeline of kind of how it happened and the steps we took to manifest each other.
I'm wearing it right now.
Yeah, and when I got that, I was like, I never thought Marley would be wearing it. So
No.
funny, a flashy object to attract a lady. Sounds really basic, but I think it kind of worked.
Hey there, Kevin.
Hey, Marley.
How's it going?
Going good. I'm super excited to do this Conscious Flow podcast with you.
Me too.
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I was thinking it would be fun to talk about how we manifested each other.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, how we, kind of the steps we took to manifest each other in our lives, and just kind of get into all of that, and also kind of explain how other people can sort of do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I'm really excited to dive in to this topic because I feel you're my perfect match. And
same with me.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't know it was possible to find someone who is so right for me. And I just want to talk about the steps that I took to manifest you, because there was a time when I didn't think it was possible to find my person, or I was thinking, they're never going to come around. I'm too picky, But I think because I stuck with my my inner gut that the right person was out there, you found your way to me.
Yeah, so I think we should talk about the timeline of kind of how it happened and the steps we took to manifest each other. I guess the other thing is you were single for 7 years before we started dating.
Yeah.
So what was kind of going on in those 7 years?
Yes, let me get comfy here.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was planning to be single for that long. Let's put it that way. When I was 20, I had a pretty devastating breakup, and then took a while for me to recover from it. And also, I really needed to do some inner healing. I have a twin sister, and I was raised as a twin. So I feel like I was also very codependent by nature. For those of you who have a twin sibling, you know that it's different than just a normal sibling. And it was kind of I needed to find myself and individualize, because my whole upbringing, it was me and another person. It was like a shared identity. And I think that filtered into romantic relationships for me. So I didn't even think I was going to be talking about this, but it just kind of came through.
I've never heard that perspective.
I've never really, I have thought about it, and it was a huge thing that made it difficult to be an independent person. Most people who don't have twins, they don't have to fight the inner codependence quite as hard as someone who has a twin sibling. Not saying we don't all deal with codependent tendencies, but when you're a twin, you're fused with this person. You shared a womb with them. It's really intense. So, I felt like those 7 years like pushed me to individualize. I also spontaneously started remembering my past lives while I was in the previous relationship. And I talk about that in my book, my memoir that I just published. It's on Amazon. And it's called Before I Live, I Die. And it's just it was a really intense journey of spontaneously remembering my past lives, the brutal ones, and having to process them. And it was very, very, very intense. And so, yeah, I needed to do a lot of healing work. And I think for like the first few years of those 7 years, I was healing codependence. I was doing really deep healing work in myself. And then I wanted a partner. I always wanted a partner. But truly, like, at the core, like, I wasn't ready for it, I don't feel. And then...
But did you know that at the time? Did you know?
No, I was, like, annoyed. I think because I would go to psychics or something. Actually, someone told me that I would meet my person soon. And I think someone else told me when I was 27 I was gonna find my perfect match. Yeah, it was crazy, but
that's when we started dating.
Exactly. Yeah, except that I was maybe 22 when they told me that. So I was like, F that. Like, I'm not gonna wait 5 years for my person. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, because you were trying to meet people, right? Like, you were going out.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Like, I'm a pretty extreme introvert.
Yeah.
But I was, like, putting myself out there. Sorry, these chairs are kind of uncomfortable. But I'm just rolling with it. If I'm, like, squirming at all, that's why. But, yeah. Yeah, basically, let's see. I mean, we're kind of, like, talking about the whole 7 years. There was so much that happened during that time. I'm trying to like condense it into a few words, but I guess like I generally was looking for someone, but a lot of times I'd go into these like really introverted like inner cave times where I wouldn't venture out. Really, I wasn't really trying that hard to find someone, at least in the beginning. And then when I moved to the town where I met you, that's when I was trying a little bit harder. I was like, I want to find my person. That was like 2021.
Yeah, that was about 3 years before we started.
Yeah.
Dating.
And we met actually, like, it might have been like, it was pretty quick into moving there. Like I moved into the town in Washington, and you were at a party that my aunt was throwing, and it was like this big community gathering. This was during COVID time. Yeah, it was like a way for the community to stay connected through, the craziness. And yeah, and you were there, and I saw you across like the crowd.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, oh, who's that guy? Because like our town was very like kind of like a lot of old people.
Yeah, it's like a retirement.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some people.
Yeah. Exactly. So a lot of like older generation, not that many young people. So you see a young person, you're like, oh, hey. And so I saw Kevin and I was like, I'm going to go talk to him. And I kind of just like beeline for you. And I was like, hey, I'm Marley. And Kevin was just kind of like, hey. And my perception was like, oh, he's kind of awkward and cute. And then I found out you had a girlfriend, and I was like, oh. But do you want to talk about your perception of that?
Oh, yeah.
Moment?
Well, yeah, I was in a relationship when I met her, and I mean, we ended up just being friends for about 3 years after that. But yeah, when I saw her at the party, I was just like, oh, she looks cool. And I think a group of us ended up doing some kind of like little drum circle, and I was like, oh, she's really cool, and like fun. Yeah, and so then after that, I think we would just kind of run into each other randomly at the beach, and it was like a constant thing that happened. Like every week, we wouldn't try to hang out, but we would just run into each other and go on walks and go swimming. Yeah, so
Didn't your mom, though, initially when we first met, like, your mom kind of mentioned that wasn't that why you showed up? Or I don't know what you want to share here.
Oh, yeah, well, my mom was, she had just mentioned, she's like, oh, there's going to be some 23-year-old twins at the party.
Yeah.
And she was just trying to get me to go to it, but she was just it was kind of funny.
Yeah, just like encouraging.
Yeah, so I was like, I guess I'll check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, so yeah, and then let's see, I guess it was just crazy how the universe kept kind of throwing us together, because we would go to the beach and we just randomly see each other. Not random, but yeah, I'd be walking my dog, my little Havanese dog, and his name's Julian. So I'd be walking Julian, and I just see Kevin all of a sudden, and he'd be like, you want to go for a walk? And I'd be like, yeah. And we just formed like a friendship through running into each other. And you probably became one of my best guy friends, actually.
Yeah, you were probably one of my best girlfriends.
Yeah, and it was just like very natural and easy to be friends with each other. But I think we both had like that shield, like that platonic shield on, where we're like, we're just friends because he's in a relationship. I was single, but obviously I wasn't gonna like mess around with someone who was in a relationship. I didn't want anything messy. And
yeah, I guess like you were single the whole time we were friends.
I was, yeah. And I guess I was just used to being the single one, so I didn't feel weird about it. I was just like, yeah, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I think sometimes I would ask, about like, how's your dating life going? And you're just like, it's not.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm really grateful for the time that I had to be single, because I think it really, really pushed me to become like an individual and like be comfortable in my own energy. I lived in a tiny house in the woods on my aunt's property, and my life was very solitaire. Like, is that right? Solitaire. Solitary? Yeah. My life was just like very independent. I did energy healing work from my home. Everything was from a distance, and so
and you would like stock up on groceries for
a week,
and then you just wouldn't.
Yeah, sometimes I would Well, I mean,
or
usually
for
I
like
would
two or
try.
3 days or something?
Yeah, I would try to go to the beach or something, but the grocery store really drained me because so much energy, and I was very sensitive at that time too. So I was also navigating like having gone through a really horrific spiritual awakening process and like healing from really deep seated trauma, processing like being a, I guess, being able to feel and sense the past lives and the infinite memory in everyone and everything around me. So I was also like in a really intense like processing phase of like, how do I be in this world now, because how I perceive it is very different. And I was like, my sensitivities to food skyrocketed. I was sensitive to everything. I just like kind of put myself in an incubator, which was my tiny home, because I needed to be in a very contained, controlled environment because I was so sensitive to everything. Still am, but I'm learning how to like navigate it, and I've gotten a lot better. But yeah, so that was also part of it. And I, yeah, so my days would basically be looking like, moving through the day on my own time. Maybe I have a session with someone where I would do a distant healing on them, or do a call with them. But it was all like, in my bubble. And then I would go to the beach and I would walk my dog, and then I go back to my house, and maybe the only interaction I would have that day would be by saying hi to someone at the beach.
Yeah, or walking with me.
Or walking with Kevin. He
Was
was
that sometimes your only interaction?
Yeah, sometimes. And like that's not like, for some people that sounds really depressing. I was so content.
Yeah.
And actually sometimes even to this day I'm like, wow, those were like peaceful times. Like I would even, if I, like in the winter, if I didn't feel like leaving the property, I would go days without seeing anyone.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you go to the grocery store and you just want to like get your groceries and you don't want to run into anybody. And
Yeah.
when you make it out without running into anybody, you're like, phew,
Yeah.
But sometimes, you can be in the grocery store for a half an hour talking to people.
Yeah. So
that not just strangers.
yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's the thing, is it was a small town, so going to the grocery store, I was like, who am I going to run into? And it wasn't like a bad thing. It was just kind of like, if I felt like I was going through so much deep internal transformation, I didn't really want to see people. But I also wanted a partner. And so I think I also would go to like the nearby yoga studio. That was a way to kind of be connected with community in some way. But yeah, just like super introverted. And I guess I did try to like push myself to go to certain events to try to meet someone, especially in the later years of like those 7 years.
What kind of events?
Well, like in the town that we were in, I would go to like an ecstatic dance event, like a little concert thing where there's a bunch of people gathering and dancing, and I know you would go to some of those too.
Yeah,
so
we would
we'd like
run into
see each other. And yeah, and sometimes we'd even hang out at them, actually.
Yeah, I mean, like several of.
Yeah, and I was there looking for my person. Then I'd see Kevin, who's not single, and
yeah,
but I would always be like excited to see you. This was a
really
familiar
funny,
face. Yeah,
because we, I mean, there was that dance at the barn that we ran into, and then there was the big Thing Festival, and
holy cow! It's almost like you were at every single one that I went to, because I didn't go to that many events.
Neither did I. Yeah.
But the ones that I went to, it was just, yeah, in hope, like in a way to get myself out there, but also I
Right.
didn't really want to go. I wanted to be in my bubble, in my peaceful Zen space. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing about going to places you don't want to go to meet somebody is that, um, you know, you'll meet people that are doing something you don't actually want to do. So,
yeah,
um, usually, like if you go to a bar and you don't really like going to bars, well, you're going to meet somebody who likes going to bars because they're at a bar.
yeah,
But if you go to, like a little nature park or something, and you like doing that, and then you see somebody else there sitting on a bench or something, then, if you end up talking to them, you'll probably get along a lot better,
yeah,
than,
yeah.
um,
Yep, exactly. And that was something that I was learning. Well, I guess we should talk about my little experiment that is ultimately what manifested you.
yeah.
Because, yeah, at some point I was fed up with going to little events because also, like, I'm very, like, extrasensory, like I said, very sensitive. And so I'd go to an event and then I'd feel awful after, or I'd be removing entity attachments from my body, or like all these things. And so it would almost like be more destructive to my body to go to these events than to just like not go. And so I guess in the winter of well, I'm trying to think of what year would that have been? 2020. What year did we start dating?
2024.
2024.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, the winter of 2024. I guess it was maybe 2023 because it was solstice. Well, moving into 2024, I kind of went through this shift, and I ended up doing like a ritual where I wrote out everything that I desired in a partner, and I was very detailed, like what he would love about me, what I would love about him, and
And you wrote this all down.
I wrote it all down. Yeah. And I put it in this manifestation box that I had. And I think I put some crystals around it, and I just made it like very ceremonial. I like to do a ceremony on solstices, and it felt really right because, especially during solstice, to kind of like crystallize my desires into being, because I mean, everything's very crystalline. There was like snow on the ground, and yeah, and so put it in my box, and then I set the intention that I was going to give myself one whole year where instead of putting myself out there in situations that were obviously not aligned for me, just so that I could hopefully find my person, I was gonna only do things that I wanted to do. I was only gonna go to events that I wanted to go to. And if that meant no events, I wouldn't go to any events. I was just like, I'm only going to do what my like soul feels drawn to do. And I decided I was just going to trust that my person was going to come to me. I wasn't going to chase. I wasn't going to go after someone who didn't want me. I decided to start listening to these, I guess you could say, dating podcasts, or maybe they're just YouTube channels. Sorry. Yeah, I guess I just started to listen to these, I guess they were mainly men talking about how to find your person, like your person, your man. And
I didn't know they made those ones. I thought it was women telling.
yeah, I know. I don't know how I stumbled upon these. One of them was, his name's Matthew
But
Hussey.
yeah, I guess
And
that makes.
yeah, I really resonated with his stuff because he really talks about how, like, you don't, like, how not to waste your time on the wrong man. And don't be afraid to, like, be who you are. And also don't be afraid to say no to the wrong person. And I guess, like, I don't remember if it was Matthew Hussey or like all these different, I listened to so many different people, but I was just like taking in information just on my own time in my little bubble. I was so content in my bubble. And I was just like listening to all this insight on how to manifest your man. Also, another thing was not pushing your boundaries for that person. And one of the biggest things was like, be clear ahead of time what your boundary is, and also set goals for your man. Like, set goals for them. Like, okay, I'm not going to be like, we're not going to have sex until we're committed to each other. Or something like that, like, because that actually, I don't really fully understand it. It has something to do with testosterone or whatever. Like, it's not obviously my area of expertise, but all I know is that it kind of like keeps the man engaged instead of giving them everything, and then it's almost like they have nothing to work towards. So if you have something like a goal for them to work towards, they're going to be more engaged with you, and they're going to want to commit to you. If you're giving them all of you, like you would if you were in a relationship with them, then they're not going to see the point of committing. You know, it's very like psychological.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, and so actually it really helped me rewire my brain to be like, okay, I need to not throw myself at anyone, and just trust that the right person will like come to me, and also that I'm not going to like, you know, go all into something with someone if they're not going to go all into it with me, if that makes sense. Like, boundaries. Unless you're committed to me, I'm not going to like treat this like it's more than what it is. And gosh, I guess the final thing, because I also want to hear your side, but the final thing that I did was I changed my like perception of having a crush on someone. So instead of saying like, oh, I have a crush on this person, I decided to change it to be, I'm interested in this person. And I did that because crush is kind of like setting you up to be crushed. Like, does he like me? Does he like me not? Oh, if he doesn't like me, I'm crushed, you know? But interest is like, okay, there's this person, I'm interested in them. I don't know if they're interested in me in that way. And then it kind of leaves more doors open. Like, this isn't going to crush me if it doesn't work out in a romantic way. It could still be a friendship or something. It doesn't have to crush me. And even if it like is a little bit hurtful, just using the word like, okay, this is an interest, not a crush, it changed how I perceived attraction to people. And I stopped being afraid of letting love in. it made me feel more like less scared of being rejected, because I was like, well, it's just an interest. It's not a crush. It's just an interest. If they're not interested in me, then I'll redirect, you know? And there doesn't have to be all this like crazy wild energy behind it. Like, it's just an interest. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then on my side, so I was in a relationship for 8 years, and then I was single for 4 months before we started dating. So my ex and I broke up, and then it was like kind of like a month of going through the breakup, and then the next month I was like, okay, I'm kind of enjoying just being by myself. And then I think the third month I was like, I'm kind of ready to like try to find my person. And so, yeah, getting into how I manifested you, I was thinking like, okay, I want like a health guru as a girlfriend. And I was also like, I want to figure out how to drink really clean water, because I was drinking out of like water fountains and plastic bottles, and I was like, I got to figure this out, because water is like the most important thing we can, like if you're drinking bad water, like, or that's not the highest quality, it's like that should be our number one focus. We should put a lot of time into that, because our bodies are like 70% water. So
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta like take some time to figure this out. And then I was eating like McDonald's, and like, I gotta figure out my diet, but I kind of needed like some help with that. When I'm just by myself, it's easy to just, stop at McDonald's or grab a candy bar. And so I kind of had those manifesting thoughts. And the other thing I did was I had this really bad wardrobe from being in a relationship for 8 years. I didn't really have to try to look good or like wear nice clothes. Mm-hmm. And so I went out and got all new clothes, and and like, kind of not anything crazy, but just like some nice like adult manly looking clothes.
Yeah.
And and then the other thing was I got a gold chain, just to like kind of have this vibe. And a gold, wrist chain.
I'm wearing it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I got that, I was like, I never thought Marley would be wearing it. It's so
No.
funny. And yeah, I guess, it's just like a flashy object to attract a lady. Sounds really basic, but I think it kind of worked.
It looked good on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't write anything down necessarily, but I did have, I was at least clear in my own mind what I wanted.
Yeah.
So, and then I guess I was kind of surprised when I wasn't necessarily thinking about Marley when I was making these, but she is like, she cooks vegan and only eats organic. Mm-hmm. Very strictly, I would say, like you won't eat anything that's not organic. Mm-hmm. So you're very much, it's like a very disciplined way of eating.
Yeah.
Which is helpful for me to follow. So yeah, then
and I have a Kangen machine.
Oh yeah, and she has a Kangen machine.
That's what we have in these bottles.
Yeah,
like
now I have
Kangen water.
I have my own bottle. It's in a blue bottle, same color as the ocean. It's got the highest quality water in the world, medical grade.
Yeah, medical
Kangen
grade.
machine.
Yeah, medical grade water, structured water. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
now we're actually in a business together as distributors,
yeah,
selling the Kangen machines. So if you want to join our team, there's a link in the description.
Yeah, and just, gosh, like the symbolism for me for water, the fact that this is a bit the business that we're going into together, it's like on, a deeper level, all of my healing work, I work with the water element. And I, like when I do past life healing, when I do past life readings, I tune into what I call the water body. And it's the emotional body. It's the body that carries with us from one life to the next. And it's essentially like the etheric water body. It's like the etheric waters within us, within all things. And it's the sentience within everything, within every living being. And it's even in just everything. And so water is very significant for me. And I think just it was very symbolic that our whole relationship, friendship was not randomly built by just like seeing each other unplanned at the beach. And it was always at the beach. We'd be like going to the beach and we'd see each other. And water just has always had like such a deep effect on me.
If you think about it, it's actually the water that brought us together, because you go to the beach to go look at the water, that's part of it. So we're both going at the same time, drawn by the water.
Exactly, yeah. And so I don't see that as random. And here we are now, and we're living in Hawaii, and we're like 2 blocks from the beach.
Yeah.
And
we actually hear the ocean on one side of the house, and then we have mountains on the other side of the house, and the big waves crash, and then the sound echoes off the mountains and then shoots back through the house, and we feel like we're surrounded by water.
It's like incredible. And just that we have been able to find each other, and we both are equally like intrigued by water, and we live by these beautiful waves, and
super clear water.
It's amazing. So,
but I guess like getting back to how we manifested each other and then ended up dating.
I also wanted to say one more thing that I did while I was manifesting you. And these are just like little things I did throughout that year that I was like, I'm gonna take this time to do whatever I want. I would still do like little things to manifest my person, but it wasn't like work. It was like, okay, my bed is a mess. I'm gonna manifest my man. I'm gonna order a like really nice organic cotton sheets and make my bedding look nice so that I actually want someone to sleep in here with me.
Which is crazy, because I actually grew up, my mom had bought organic sheets for me and my siblings, so I slept on organic cotton sheets. And then that was when I was younger, and then I didn't have organic cotton sheets, so actually up until then. And so it was actually a really homey thing to when you said you had organic cotton sheets, I was like, I'm moving in. But anyways, we'll get to that point.
We'll get to but I guess for the most part, my days like during that time were still very introverted. Life was like on my own terms. I would go to some events, but it was very specific events just to connect with very specific community. I didn't care, I did care about finding my person, but I decided to stop looking, and I just wanted to experiment with what if I just did what I wanted to do and didn't think about finding my person? And I still listened to those, videos that kind of helped me rewire my brain around dating. And, I thought about making my home nice to open it up, create space for maybe a specific person. But I also was mostly just in surrender. Pretty much my days would be still just going to the beach on my own time and spending time in my bubble. And I was pretty okay with that. And so I also kind of like had this internal joke going where I was like, gosh, it'd be like really great if like my man just kind of like showed up at my doorstep. And I almost like, I feel like I even kind of like demanded that of the universe a little bit. I was like, I'm done seeking outside of myself for someone. I'm done like with this whole energy of chasing. My man is going to come to me and he's going to like put energy into me. He's going to pursue me. I wanted to be pursued. I wanted to feel wanted. And I was done like participating in any sort of like game of like going for someone who wasn't in it with me or who didn't pursue me or who confused me. Do you want me or do you not want me? Like, I didn't want to participate in that anymore. And so, yeah, I was kind of like, he's going to just show up in my life. And also, sorry, there's so much to say here.
Yeah.
Also, I even kind of like had the mindset too of, one moment I could be single and the next I could be in a relationship. And I had this feeling where I was like, this could happen really fast. And so this moment I was single and I was going to enjoy it. I was going to enjoy being in my own energy, knowing that my person was going to come in very soon, and any moment I could be not single anymore. And everything could change. And so...
Yeah, so that's like important to just like enjoy that time while you're single because it could change. Mm-hmm. Same thing with if you're going to become a millionaire tomorrow. Like, you can just enjoy, being where you're at, and then the next day you have $1 million and now you have all these problems. You're like, what am I going to spend,
Yeah, there's just a lot of responsibility that comes when, like, things that you desire, if you're not ready for it, then it's not, like, I don't know. I guess I also think about how I wasn't really ready for you, like, before we came together.
So it's like, you're manifesting and then you're not like anxiously waiting. It's like, then now you're enjoying your time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'd still like grieve. I'd still be sad that I was single sometimes, but I also would come back to, they're out there and I deserve that. And they're going to come in and I'm going to be ready for it. And so I'm going to just keep doing my inner healing work. I'm going to keep diving into my own energy. I'm going to enjoy being with myself, because once I have a person, things are going to pick up. It's going to be a lot. And, life is going to change drastically once I have a person in my life. So, yeah, I was enjoying it. And then let's see what happened, Kevy.
Well, then, yeah, so I guess in that third month of me being single, at some point I had, I was starting to look, for somebody, and so I was on like a camping trip at the beach, just parked in my car, and I was like,
at the beach.
Yeah, I wonder if my person is just gonna like, be at the beach here, and I'll, talk to them, or they'll talk to me, and just nothing was happening. And then at some point, I had just sent you a text. I was like, because I wasn't living in the same town as you anymore, but my mom lived close to you, so in the same town. So I went to go visit my mom, and then I sent you a text. I hadn't seen you in a while, so I was just like, oh, do you want to meet at the farmer's market?
Mm-hmm.
So you said yes, so we met at the farmer's market, and I was also, I texted you not to try to get in a relationship with you. I was actually more just curious to see what our vibe would be like now, because this was the first time we hung out alone when I was single. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what, I've been friends with this girl for 3 years, and now that I'm single and we're alone, like, what's the dynamic going to be? Is it going to be the same? And I really had no expectations. So we meet at the farmer's market and we hang out, and I buy you strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided to go to the beach. Then we were just talking at the beach about how just single we were, how difficult it is to meet people. And here we are, like two just desperately single people talking about how hard it is to meet people, especially in this town where everybody's over the age of 55.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were it was actually kind of funny just looking back to that conversation, because we're like, yeah, I just can't meet anybody, and
Yeah.
these dating apps are horrible and super weird people, and you're telling me the weird questions people are asking you on the dating apps.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess also my guard was up with you, because I thought we were not compatible, because you traveled a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know at that point, I hadn't been on a plane in 7 years. I didn't know if I could even travel. I was still testing out my sensitivities after my awakening. I didn't know what I could do. I was like, I might be living in this tiny home in the woods for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Which, obviously that's not how things unfolded. But that was a concern, I was pretty sure that me and you were not compatible. And so it wasn't that I was not attracted to you, because I was, but I was also learning to from all those dating things that I'd listened to, looking for compatibility. I feel like I should raise this mic. Okay. Looking for compatibility is really important. And even if you're attracted to someone, that's only level 1. And then compatibility is essential in order for it to work. And so I think a lot of times in the past, I had let attraction kind of win out. Or also, not only that, but I pick up on soul connections, and oh, we've known each other in a past life. Things worked in a past life with us together. So it should work now, right? But and I think that was also something I was navigating, was being tuned into this stuff that most people aren't tuned into, and being okay, wait, so just because I've known this person in a past life, or things were different in a past life, that doesn't mean that we're compatible in this life. So there was all these things that I was navigating.
Yeah, well, and I did traveling, but actually at the time we started dating, I was kind of phasing out of, because I had traveled a lot, and then when we would hang out, I would tell her, oh, I just went, to the Virgin Islands or the Bahamas, or all, different places. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I had
My stomach just grumbled so loud. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it just sort of actually, and, she didn't know this at the time, but I had actually was feeling kind of traveled out, and I was actually more going back to, instead of going to new places, I would go back to a certain place that I really liked, or a place I wanted to potentially move to, like Hawaii. And then actually I had traveled to this area multiple times, which is interesting. And then we moved here without you ever even being here, but I had been here, and I was like, this is a great spot to live. So so that's interesting.
So like that was your mindset. So, and I didn't know that. So my guard was up, and we're at the beach because that's where our whole relationship was. That's where we always spend our time. We'd never even been to each other's homes.
Yeah, we'd never been over. And then she was talking about maybe what she was going to make for dinner. We were talking about food, and then I just kind of invited myself over.
You were like, well, should we go to your house then? Or something. And I was like, oh, okay. And
then we got in our cars, and then I just followed
me
back to her house, and we made dinner together, and you know, cutting up organic vegetables and eating really healthy. And I was like, this is great.
And I think at one point I decided, okay, let's pull some oracle cards for our love lives, because I still had my guard up.
Which was also really interesting, because now we're pulling these cards, and one of them for Marley was saying somebody unexpected is going to come into your life.
Yep.
And now we're reading these.
It was like, oh, okay.
It's like, who's that going to be? Wow, that's exciting, Marley.
Yeah. It was a stranger card.
Yeah, a stranger.
Yeah.
And actually, I wasn't a stranger, but I had changed a lot.
You changed so much.
Yeah.
And also, it was like almost like getting to know a completely different person. That was the weirdest thing. I was like, who are you? As like this first time hanging out, it was me getting like glimmers of you in a completely different light. And that continued throughout, like, you know, even to this day, I'm still like, how were we friends for 3 years and we didn't see like the depth within each other? And also like I said, I tune into past lives within people. I tune into deeper soul connections all the time. But with Kevin, when we were friends, like I couldn't see anything. Like I saw a couple past lives that we'd shared. So I'd known like we'd known each other before. But I did not know like our deeper soul connection. I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know what was like going on there. I thought he was kind of like a soul brother, like you know, I guess I just when I tune into the past lives and someone, it tells me a lot about what kind of cycles that me and that soul have been in, and kind of how that might play out in this current life. And with Kevin, it was like there was a block, like I hadn't seen it. And I think my soul was like blocking me from seeing it, because otherwise it would have been too soon. You had to play out, you know, your relationship, and I needed to be like unaware of what we could potentially be. I think if I had known that, like what I know now, that we are very like, that our souls have known each other before in a really deep way, like it would have really confused me a lot.
Yeah. So we're pulling these cards.
Yeah.
At some point, right before the evening was kind of wrapping up, I was like, I'm just gonna go in for a little smooch and see what happens. And so I tried to kiss you, and you kind of pushed me away, and you're like, I don't think we should do this, you know, blah blah blah. That's
blah,
what
blah,
I heard, blah blah blah. So then, I was just kind of like, okay. And then I left.
Wait, but one of the cards was a cactus.
Oh, yeah.
That's
She's
important.
got a cactus because she got a cactus card because it was saying, like, oh, she has this pokey shell. And this was
that
before
was our takeaway. I think I was like joking, like, oh, am I prickly? Like, am I hard to get to know? Is this why?
Yeah, and then actually I was like, oh, maybe this is why she's been single. She's got all these prickly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously I pricked you when you tried to kiss me. I was like,
yeah.
Yeah, but then that opened up the conversation where we talked about everything. I was like, I want a partner.
Oh, yeah.
I want like my life person. I'm like looking for a serious relationship. I don't want to mess around with someone that isn't like serious, We just kind of laid it out, and I was also like, this is why I think we're incompatible.
Yeah.
And you kind of shine light on, okay, well,
yeah, she gave me a spreadsheet of why we don't.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, we go our separate ways that evening, and I think we're gonna take like a week until we see each other. But then I wake up in the morning to a knock, knock, knock. And I am like a night owl, so I sleep in. Kevin didn't know how much of a night owl I am, so he like wakes me up. I think I was awake, but I wasn't like fully conscious. And so he wakes me up with this little knock, knock. And I kind of like spring out of bed, and I'm like, oh my God, who's here? Because no one ever comes to my door. I'm like,
And I also had no idea that she had been, trying to manifest somebody to come to her door. I actually almost didn't go because I was like, this is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I barely remembered how to get to her house. She lived down these different dirt roads.
Yeah.
So I took a wrong turn and then made a U-turn, and I'm trying to find her house based on, where I followed her the day before.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, this is kind of creepy. I hope I'm not like overstepping.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just like, you really have no idea.
Yeah.
She's just like in there calling. She's like, just somebody come to my doorstep.
Not exactly. I mean, yeah, it was like an inner like thing. I think it's just so funny that you just showed up at my doorstep, because I was manifesting that, but I also was not expecting it. And so I opened the door, and you're already like walking towards your car, because it took me a minute. I had to throw on my dress. I hadn't been wearing pants. I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yeah, and I had brought her several gifts.
Yeah, my hair was like a disaster. So I looked down, and you'd left these gifts on, I don't know, the step. It's not like a porch. It was like steps that led up to the door. So like on the top step, there's a wooden spoon and a tiny cactus. And I kind of look over, and I see Kevin just about to get in his car, and I'm like, Kevin, what are you doing here? And do you want to talk about why you gave me a wooden spoon?
Yeah, well, the wooden spoon was a gift because when we made dinner, we were just scooping, out of this big stir fry pan. We're scooping with little spoons, and it took forever to get into the bowl, and I was thinking she needs a big spoon so she can just, it's a little more efficient. She can just one big scoop, couple scoops, and then boom, it's in there.
Yeah.
And then the cactus, because she's prickly on the outside. She got the cactus card, and she also poked me away, and so I thought it was really funny. Like, this is, you need to look at what you are.
Kevin.
At the time.
Yeah, okay. I had like my walls up.
Yeah.
Pretty big. So I thought it was sweet and like endearing, and the wooden spoon was just like really sweet too. The whole thing, I was just like, wow, this man just showed up at my doorstep and gave me these like cute little gifts that actually had a lot of meaning behind them. And I think we even had like a conversation though after, and you kind of start off by saying like, I'm sorry I tried to kiss you. Like,
Oh yeah,
I'm not
like
trying
I
to
was.
jump into anything right now. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't expect to have such a serious conversation last night.
yeah,
And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not ready to jump into a relationship right now. Let's just
be
be
friends.
friends and see what happens.
Yeah, and then we hung out later that day though. You were like,
Yeah.
let me like go through my morning routine, and then let's hang out in a couple hours at the
Yeah.
beach,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just be friends. So then we went and hung out, and we were just friendly conversations, and
Yeah, it was kind of flirty.
yeah. I at one point got stuck in a blackberry bush, and she had to help kind of get me out, and it was
Yeah, Kevin was like, help me.
yeah,
And yeah, I thought it
and
was a way just to get me closer to you, but
yeah.
um
But then we hung out then, and then we decided, okay, let's just take a week and just kind of think about everything. And
yeah.
so we spent a week apart, and then I actually drove like 3 hours from the coast to go have dinner with you again. And we made a really nice dinner, and I was like, this is great food, so healthy.
Yeah.
and and then at some point we put on the Macarons Project on Spotify, which is a really romantic music. They do different covers, so if you ever want to listen to romantic music, look up the Macarons Project and put this on at your dinner party.
or, or your very romantic
Yeah,
date.
your romantic date, because it
Yeah.
was just like, they did the like "Kiss Me" cover,
Yeah.
and
I don't remember all the
all
songs.
all kinds of romantic songs. But
Yeah, but it was like neither of us had heard the Macarons Project. It just came up on your Spotify or
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You were
was
just
really-
like looking to play something calming because we were gonna just hang out on my little day bed.
yeah, yeah. So then we're
and-
sitting on her daybed in the tiny house, and then this is after dinner, and the Macarons Project is playing. And
We're
then-
sitting on like opposite ends of the day bed too.
Yeah.
And
But at some point, I start giving you a hand massage.
yeah. At some point I was like, you can come closer to me.
Yeah,
And I think I had like gone into the night and I was like, I'm gonna kiss him tonight. I was like, let's explore. Let's just see how this goes. But I didn't want to do anything more than kissing because I was very like strongly in that boundary of we're not gonna be like intimate any more than kissing until we are committed to each other.
yeah,
And I'm really proud because I stuck with that,
Yeah.
which wasn't that hard because it took like 3 days.
yeah. So then, yeah. So I'm massaging her hand, and then we end up doing a little smooching.
Doing a little smooching. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I mean,
Yeah,
you had
I
a
mean-
good conversation. You're like, I don't want to do anything more until we start dating, and
Yeah, and it was just very like it was like maybe one of the most romantic nights ever,
yeah,
and neither of us had expected it to be that. We just like spent a long time like listening to the music and talking and laughing, and it was like really beautiful. And then
yeah, and then we decided to start dating like 3 days later.
yeah, and you basically like
And
were spending the night even before we started dating,
yeah,
because he was from out of town. He could have been staying at his mom's house or something, but I was like, you can just stay here.
yeah,
And yeah, from then on, you were basically moved in.
yeah. I moved in. Actually, yeah, probably like a day before we started dating,
Yeah,
and then
it was
Yeah,
kind of unofficial. Like
yeah,
all your stuff was in your car,
yeah,
but it was like you were moved in. I mean, you couldn't put all your stuff into my house because it was a tiny house and there wasn't very much space.
Yeah.
But
But it actually worked out great because I had like a, little camper SUV that I'd been just traveling around in the summer, and so I had all my clothes, and so I just parked in her driveway, and it's like we were neighbors. I had my house and her driveway, and she had both on wheels.
Yeah. And like, what are the chances that some man would just show up at my house? And then it took about like a week and a half from like the first hangout that we did, where we hung out for the first time since you'd been single, one-on-one, and to like a week and a half later we were dating. And that, like, my manifestation was very accurate to be like, okay, one moment you're gonna be single, the next moment you're gonna be committed. And actually, like, it was a lot of adjusting for me to get, like, I think I kind of was going through a lot of emotional turmoil while we were like first dating.
Me too.
Because I was kind of like, holy cow, this is bringing up all my deepest fears, and like, wow, this is really, really heavy, and like bringing up heavy stuff. And so, it was so easy and flow with you. And it also like brought up so much like trauma to be healed. And so, so I think the whole like being grateful for the time I had being single was very accurate, because once we were together, it was like turmoil rising to the surface and processing, okay, now I'm in a relationship and I need to like process all this like trauma around intimacy and like being committed to someone, and like trusting that this person like is committed to me. And I had a lot of trust things to work through, and and so, but ultimately, like, I feel like we're so good for each other, and like we are so in flow, and like we don't even have to talk anymore, and we just like know what the other is thinking. We know, like, we don't, like, we're cleaning the kitchen in the evening, and we don't talk. Like, Kevin starts cleaning the dishes and I start sweeping, and we just like do naturally like what the other doesn't want to do.
Right. And like we both know it's nearing the end of the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Which I mean, so like that's basically how we that's like sort of the story of how we manifest each other. And then I was going to ask also, what did you talk about any of this in your book, or any relationship things in your book?
I didn't talk about anything in regards to like our relationship, because my book took place when I was 20, and when I was in a different relationship with someone who I felt like was, a twin flame. And I really want to talk about twin flames on this podcast eventually. I think we could do like a whole episode on it. But yeah, it was like, I talk a bit about, being with someone who you might have a deeper soul connection with, but who isn't compatible with you. And so, I talk about that in my book. But the book is generally about my past lives.
Yeah, and overcoming fear of death. And that's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Before
and
I
so,
Live, I Die.
Yep, that's called Before I Live, I Die by Marley O'Neill. My first name is Mary. Middle name is Marley. So, everyone calls me Marley, but Marley O'Neill is my true name.
And now that's a beautiful necklace you have on. Is there?
Thanks,
I
Kevin.
see there's a little bowl of necklaces here. They're all different, and we actually Marley makes all these and infuses them with Reiki and healing properties. And these we can actually ship to you from Hawaii if you're interested.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they are.
I guess just comment if
Yep.
you want one. And
Yeah, they're encoded with powerful crystalline frequencies to assist you in activating remembrance of your soul on the deepest level. This one specifically has like Atlantean light codes in it. Each necklace has different light codes. There's like ancient Egypt. So if there's like a place that you want activated in your soul, in your energy, let me know. But I'd love to send you photos of the necklaces that I have, and
maybe
so
we'll have a link.
yeah, well, you can just shoot me an email.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just email our.
Yeah, and I'll send you photos of the ones that I have because it might be changing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, and then also the Kangen business. Hit us up if you want to join our Kangen business, because we are looking for anyone who wants to join our team. We will mentor you, we'll work with you, and we also want to like just share this water with the world. And the business is patented worldwide, the business plan. And so it's very unique, and the way that the business is structured and the way that you get paid out is very unique. And I think it's like one of the best business plans I've ever heard of. It's the best business plan.
Yeah, and it's great to do with your partner. It's a good partnership.
Yeah.
Relationship business.
Yeah, it's very bonding. And so I'll have a link below where you can set up a Kangen call with us, just a 15-minute call. Then we can meet with you, and or you can shoot us an email too. But I think that's everything.
Yeah, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching till the end.
Yeah.
And we're going to be releasing another episode every Friday. Will be published Thursday or Friday. So every week we're going to have a new podcast up about spiritual relationships. And I'm super excited.
We're just going to be flowing. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Yeah. All right.
Peace.
Peace.